Hi everyone and welcome back. Look, if you've been watching the news over the last few months, you might have noticed that something has changed, or something is changing. The media seems to have turned quite hard on the Labor government, especially Jacinta Allan. Right now, she's getting an absolute hiding over the bushfires. There's angry locals, they're getting plenty of hostile coverage out there. Images of her being surrounded, heckled, rushed away. So the media is painting a very clear picture here. Incompetence, failure, loss of control, the machete bins, the bushfires, the cost of living crisis, leadership or lack thereof, debt, it's relentless. And look, to be fair, on performance, she's failed badly. I mean, that's hard to argue, but here's the part that most people will miss. See, the media usually doesn't turn on its own, and the Labor Party is well and truly aligned with the media. They won't do it at least without any reason. But while Jacinta Allan is seemingly being torn down, something else is happening quietly, gently, and it appears that they're building someone else up. And that happens to be Jess Wilson. Suddenly she's everywhere. Positive framing, fresh leader, strong woman, tough on crime. You know, she's going to fix the cost of living. Maybe she could even help and stop the bushfires somehow. And the media seemingly are giving her quite a bit of a voice at the moment. They're making her look like she's capable. All of the major outlets seem to be doing the same thing, the same tone, same framing. Now, for years under Dan Andrews, the media barely questioned anything that man did. It was wall-to-wall praise, give or take. No sustained pressure, no serious opposition. State debt exploded, businesses collapsed, social damage piled up. It didn't matter. The guy could do no wrong. He was basically protected. Now, Allan is quite obviously, in contrast, expendable. Day after day, issue after issue, she's getting pummeled. She literally is. This isn't organic, I believe. This is a clear narrative flip. This is how political change is manufactured. So it's not done with votes, it's done with narratives. What they do is they exhaust the public with failure, then offer some hope in the form of a new face, in the form of a new party, a different party. Same system though, same outcome. Now, you'll notice lately that even Pauline Hanson, she's been making a fair bit of noise lately. And people often ask, well, why would the media give her any airtime if she's any kind of threat to the system? Well, here's why. People think Pauline represents a genuine alternative. They think that votes for Pauline means rejection of the major parties. Many think that it's rebellion. And emotionally, yes, it does feel that way. But Australia does not operate on raw vote totals. It operates on seats. And seats are won at the electorate level, not through just broad national sentiment. So without winning the lower house seats in the House of Reps, you cannot form a government. And without forming government, well, there's nothing you can do. You can't really set policy. Without policy control, you're really of no threat to the system whatsoever. And this is where Pauline becomes, at least in the eyes of the media, safe. See, in most electorates, one nation does not win. So where do those votes actually go? They flow through preferences. And overwhelmingly, those preferences for one nation flow to the coalition or to the opposition, to the Liberal Party. And that's not because of conspiracy, it's because of ideology alignment and obviously voter behaviour. See, from the system's point of view, Pauline serves a function, a very important one. She captures the protest vote. She channels people's frustration. She gives people an outlet. But structurally, she doesn't actually disrupt power. Now, I just want to be clear when it comes to Pauline Hanson. I'm not against her. I don't believe that she's a racist. I don't call her bigoted or any of that sort of stuff. I actually think she represents a lot of everyday Australians. Mothers, fathers, families, workers, people who feel ignored. But that's not the issue. That's not the point of this video. The issue is capacity to change a country. See, to change a country, you need candidates who can win local seats. Ground organisations. You need funding, discipline, policy depth, parliamentary leverage. Without those, you don't govern. You influence at best. So the reality is that the media aren't really afraid of Pauline. They're quite comfortable with her because votes that don't translate into seats just don't translate into power. And power, well, the real power, is obviously the only thing that can actually be effective and do anything. The only thing that matters. Now compare that with Anthony Albanese. He gets criticised, but he survives. Look at the Bondi backflip. They say to save his skin. They're turning it on him a bit. So he's getting pressure, yes, but he survives. And why is that? Because right now, Anthony Albanese still serves a purpose. He's very useful. See, he's non-threatening. He absorbs pressure without pushing back. He advances policies quietly. He doesn't energise the public positively or negatively. And that makes him ideal for this phase where we are right now. So leaders aren't replaced because they're just weak or they get old. They're replaced when they are no longer useful. So Victoria has a clean narrative pivot right now. There's a new face. They're giving her strong optics with the law and order framing. But federally, there's no polished alternative yet. No real charismatic opposition leader yet. No unified message, no story to sell. So the media isn't going to burn down a sitting PM until they can offer hope in return. See, hope's the product and it sells really well. They will eventually turn on Albanese, and you'll know that started when you see a new Liberal leader getting some positive coverage more often. When opinion pieces change from him just being uninspiring to ineffective completely. When the cost of living starts getting pinned personally on him. There could be leaks, sources close to, that kind of thing. That's when the clock starts, but it doesn't really matter. In 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, they'll do the same thing to Jess Wilson or whoever it is that gets elected next. They'll turn on her the way that they've turned on Jacinta Allan. Because this isn't about competence. It isn't even about ideology. And it definitely isn't about you or I. So what's actually going on? Who's benefiting here? Well, governments can change. That's no problem. Debt will keep growing and people profit from that. Agendas will keep moving and ordinary people, I hate to say it, will keep getting squeezed. The illusion is that, this time it's going to be different. This time it'll be better when we get this next leader in. But history says over and over again that it won't. See, if you actually want change, it doesn't come from going in and voting and rotating the major parties. It comes from communities organising locally. I'm not telling you what to do or who to vote for. I'm just showing you how the system itself works. Real change only happens from the ground up, at grassroots level. So if you're feeling angry, hopeful, if you're frustrated, if you're confused, ask yourself one question. Who benefits from me believing that this change will somehow fix something? Because history has continuously answered that over and over again.